How's it going, everybody? This is the Stimulus Check Hub here. And today we're going to be talking about why this entire situation was planned from the start. This entire stimulus debate, this entire stimulus situation was a deliberate attempt by the government to take over. And why the government is not talking about, they don't want you to know this, but costs are going up. And the reason they don't want you to know that prices are going up is because they've issued a statement claiming that this is all temporary. So for those of you who have been shopping, for those of you who have been buying things lately, I'm sure you've noticed that your costs are going up. I have. I've definitely noticed food's more expensive. Lumber is more expensive. Gas is more expensive. My God, is gas more expensive. A bunch of things are becoming more expensive, and the government, they're trying to convince us that, this will go away, it's going to stop. But when was the last time you saw a company raise prices, everyone's buying at that higher price, and then all of a sudden they're going to lower it? When was the last time a company lowered costs deliberately, even though they could keep them higher? That never happens. So these costs are going to stay here. Rent's going to soar. Rent's already soaring in a lot of the country because of the housing values are going up astronomically. Housing's gone up literally 20% in the last year. Think about that. So if you had a $300,000 house, it's worth $360,000 now in 1 year. A $60,000 increase. When was the last time people's wages went up even 5% in a single year? That shows you the predicament we're in here. That shows you how rigged this system is. This entire thing is planned to transfer wealth to the very, very top through the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is at the heart of this entire thing. The Federal Reserve's rigging the stock market. They're rigging the real estate market. Common people can't buy anything anymore. It used to be, this is how far we've fallen as a country. It used to be you could have one person working. You could have one parent stay at home, and you could have 3 kids, and you could provide for them all on one salary, all on a common person's salary. And now they're trying to convince us, and the stimulus checks are, in my view, a way to paper over the problem. I think we will have permanent stimulus checks eventually once we have automation and a wave of unemployment due to that. But the stimulus checks are just paving over the problem. The stimulus checks don't actually get to the heart of the problem, which is that wages and the way people operate in our society, it just doesn't work. Our system is structurally unsound, and no amount of money is going to fix that. No amount of money is going to make the quality of people better. No amount of money is going to make it so people have a sense of community anymore, and everyone's just not glued to their phone all day. Do we have any idea what being glued to your phone all day does to our brain? Do we have any idea of what that does? We know that they want us to be glued into their technology 24/7 because then they own our brain. And when someone else has control over what you're thinking, that's how you know you're in dangerous territory. And we're in dangerous territory now. I've seen costs go up. But I see people at the Federal Reserve and I see people in the government literally telling me costs aren't going up. That's what's going on. And consumers are going to figure it out. This is what the government doesn't understand. I think they understand, they just don't care. People are going to wake up. People are going to realize, hey, my costs are going up, and they're going up a heck of a lot more than normal. So I need a raise. I need another stimulus check. I need whatever. The whole point is, people are going to want their wages to go up to adjust for all of these increases in costs. By the way, if you're someone who let's say you got a 3% raise at your work, right? Or a 3% raise in your Social Security or your unemployment. Technically, you actually lost money because your goods, the actual things you buy, got more expensive. They don't want you to know about this. They don't want you to know about inflation. They don't want you to know that costs are getting more expensive. They want to keep you on the rat race. They want to keep you in the wheel so that you never wake up and that you have to pay these higher prices forever and your wages never keep up with it. You can never lift yourself up because the entire system's a scam. That's what they want. That's what they want. They stole from the Social Security fund. They already stole from that. Next, they're going to steal it right out of your pocket through higher prices. They're going to steal. They will. Prices could double from here, and you would still have the government telling you, "Oh, costs aren't going up. It's fine. It's temporary." Gas could be $6 a gallon, and they would be like, "Oh, it's temporary, guys. It's not going to last," because the whole thing's an illusion. This whole thing's a fraud. This whole thing's an illusion. Inflation is the secret tax. It's the silent tax. They don't want you to know about inflation. As soon as you know about inflation, you start connecting the dots. Like, hey, why can't I afford a house? Hey, why is food getting more expensive every year? Why is rent going up every year? It's because of inflation. They want inflation in the system so they can steal more money from the people without them knowing. That's really what it boils down to. So the stimulus checks, the $1,200 stimulus checks, what's amazing to me is that how short-sighted people have become. Never forget, $1,200, that used to be a ton of money. In 1950, you could go to a baseball game with popcorn with 2 hot dogs for like $1.50. You could do that. For $1.50, you could get a baseball game and 2 hot dogs at a stadium, right? You used to be able to buy a car or go to college for like $1,000. Now, try to buy a new car, it's $40,000. I'm dead serious. I saw the price of these new cars they're pumping out now. I personally will only ever buy used cars just because that's just what it is. I like the fact that they're cheaper and they work, and it is what it is. But the point I'm making here is that costs have gone up so high that our system's actually becoming unstable now. Now it's getting to the point where you're approaching the point where 50% of the people really can't afford to survive anymore. 50%. Think about that. 50% of our society can barely keep their head above water, and we're over here saying, "Oh, we're doing a great job. We're doing amazing. The economy's roaring." Have you guys seen all these news articles about how the economy is roaring? I'm like, dude, this is blatant propaganda. Like, that is just blatant propaganda. The economy's roaring relative to the pit we were in. Yeah, at the bottom of the crash when the government shut down the entire economy. You know, I'm not saying they shouldn't have done that. I think they should have, but I'm saying the fact they didn't pass stimulus on time, that's really what this boils down to. But people who are saying the economy's roaring, the economy's not roaring. People are getting back to work at the jobs they lost when the economy fell, so you're seeing all these new job figures, and they're acting like that means anything. No, people are just going back to the jobs they already had. That's it. Has nothing to do with new companies being created or new jobs and they're lying about the data. They're lying about the data because if they lie about the data, they can keep this game going forever. They can keep this whole plan situation going forever. They can keep this delusion going forever that the system's stable. That's their goal here. They're trying to convince everyone the system's stable. Prices aren't going up. You're seeing the costs go up in real life. You're seeing the fact that your stimulus check that everyone got buys less and less. And they still owe a bunch of money on the previous stimulus checks to a lot of people. But the point is, you're seeing costs go up. The government's going to try to convince you any way they can that costs are not going up, but everyone sees it. I mean, I see it. You know, you can't convince people when they've seen something they didn't see it. I'm seeing the costs go up. It's to the point where I want to take a picture of the yellow sticker at the store and then wait in a month or two and see it go up. That's because they're so confident and arrogant trying to convince us that we're not seeing what we're seeing. That we know our stimulus checks buys less than what it did.